But over the weekend, the mayor doubled down on his emotionally and extremely personal comments about his own son following the grand jury decision not to indict NYPD officer Daniel Pantaleo in the death of Eric Gardner. Take a look.
It's different for a white child. That's just the reality in this country. And with Dante, very early on, with my son, we said, look, if a police officer stops you, do everything he tells you to do. Don't move suddenly. Don't reach for your cell phone. Because we knew, sadly, there was a greater chance it might be misinterpreted if it was a young man of color.
Now, the mayor continued that conversation on ABC's This Week, only to attack former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani for stating solid statistics regarding heightened black crime rate in the black community. And this is what he said.
I think he fundamentally misunderstands reality. We're trying to bring police and community together. There is a problem here. There is a rift here that has to be overcome. You cannot look at an incident in Missouri, another incident in Cleveland, Ohio, and another incident in New York City, all happening in the space of weeks, and act like there's not a problem. There's something fundamental we have to get at here. And it's not going to be helped by accusing either the community or the police of having bad intention or not doing their job.
Here to respond, former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani, you fundamentally misunderstand reality. Oh, I didn't think you could laugh.
That is absolutely hilarious that I fundamentally misunderstand reality, when in fact what he's doing is propounding the idea that the police are responsible for this. I have never denied the fact that the police at times misbehave and act criminally. In fact, I don't remember Mayor de Blasio putting any police officers in prison. I've put about 70 in prison. So police officers can misbehave, and they are part of the problem. However, 96% of the problem is black-on-black crime. And his failure to recognize that is making this situation worse. If you want to have an honest conversation about race in this country, and you're not a racist, you're not bending over backwards to worry about how you're perceived in one community or the other. You've got to be able to say two things. Any police shooting should be investigated carefully, and if the police officer is wrong, he goes right to prison. And not all the times are they wrong. Number two, the reason those shootings take place more often in the black community than the white community is that in New York City, for example, the city he happens to be the mayor of, 75% of the shootings are done by blacks. That's the reality. That's reality.
Yeah.
When you escape reality, I'm afraid that's the person that may be the racist.
Let me throw up some numbers here. And the latest year we have stats for is in 2012, and that is the number of blacks in 2012 killed by law enforcement with a firearm, 123. If you look at the percentage of black murder victims that are killed by other black offenders, that number, we'll put it up, is 90%. So if I'm understanding what you're saying here is if we want to save the lives of kids that are getting killed, we have to look at the bigger source of the problem. In other words, the names that we don't know.
What this indicates to me is the mayor has a hard time getting past his ideology. His ideology tells him police are bad, they caused the problems, I have to warn my son about the police. Well, there's maybe a 1% chance, maybe less, maybe a 2% chance that any black young boy is going to be shot by the police. There's a 95% chance they'll be shot by another black. So you better train him how not to get shot that 90% of the times.
Let me